My brothers, this morning we begin to take our gospel reading for the weekday from the Gospel of St. Luke. And what we see Christ do in this gospel, is to give his inaugural address. You know, it's customary that after the swearing in of a new president, he will give an inaugural address where he lays out his vision and his plan for his presidency and for the country. And some of those addresses are memorable, and some are not. So in this Christ's inaugural sermon, the very first one recorded by St. Luke, he lays out his claim to be the long-awaited Messiah. And he proclaims his mission. And that mission includes bringing good tidings, glad tidings to the poor, proclaiming liberty to captives, and the recovery of sight to the blind, and to let the oppressed go free, and to proclaim a year acceptable to the Lord. In other words, the Jubilee year. Incidentally, we are celebrating Jubilee this time. And that's the time acceptable to God. And after he has done that, you know, the reaction, the response to his homily, to this homily that he gave, it started, first of all, with admiration. They were impressed by what he said. But then it quickly turned into hostility. Hostility is so thick, the fury was such that they were ready to kill him. In fact, they tried to kill him for what he said. And it seems to me that what changed them was because he pointed out to them that in the past, in their history, God had they were not just the only chosen people. God had also reached out to Gentiles. In other words, his messiahship is not limited to the Jewish people. It embraces both Jews and the Gentiles. You know, they had expected that they are special, so special, that his coming was only for them. And he tried to broaden their vision. And that was when trouble started. My brothers, you know, as I often say, when we read the scriptures now, Christ is no longer addressing his hometown crowd. He's addressing us. And is reminding us that his mission has become our own mission. To bring glad tidings to the poor, proclaim liberty to captives, the recovery of sight to the blind, to let the oppressed go free, and to proclaim a year acceptable to the Lord. It is now for us to fulfill this prophetic message that he gave. And we are to do that not only by what we say, but most importantly by what we do. Today, we are praying with the rest of the world for the care of creation. And the care of creation entails also taking care of the poor and the marginalized, of doing what we can to free people from their captivity to all sorts of addiction in our time, captivity to a sinful lifestyle. The greatest imprisonment that people have is their enslavement to sin and sinful ways. And so, when we live our lives in such a way that we bring hope to those who are held captive in any way, then we are fulfilling our mission. And when we begin to do that, we should not forget what happened to Christ when he proclaimed that message initially. It is not going to win us friends. If anything, we have to be ready for hostility from the people. Even in a society like ours, in a country like ours, where there is freedom of religion, and we are not in any danger of being killed by anybody for being Christians and proclaiming the Christian message. But we have to be ready for the hostility of those who do not agree with us, for the hostility of those who think differently, those who do not put God into their calculation, into the organization of their life. And the greatest tragedy for us will be to allow such treatment, such indifference to silence us. We have to, in spite of everything, just like Christ, stand tall, even in the midst of persecution and indifference of our people. And for us, we will not be able to stand tall if our primary consideration is we are looking for approval and applause. May God give all of us the prophetic courage to stand firm in spite of any and all forms of opposition.